Hello and welcome to this session on an introduction to oil paints. Um, it's a brief session and it's just going to literally introduce you to the concept of oil paints and how they differ from acrylic paints. And the first thing that is the most important thing is the medium that you need to be able to mix your oil paints and also to clean your brushes. So for cleaning your brushes, you use literally white spirit or terps, and you need to have a pot of that at the ready. You can reuse this again and again. I store mine in a big tub and then let all the sediment drop to the bottom and reuse it because it is literally just for the cleaning of your brushes. So that's that, and you have that to one side. Then in terms of mixing your paints, you never mix your oil paints with terps because it's too severe. And what that will do is, one, it'll strip the quality of the paint, but also it will rot your canvas, and you don't want that. So over time, your canvas would rot if you use that. And what you do need is, sorry, this one, you need genuine turpentine, which you can buy from any art stores. I get it in this size, but you can get it smaller. You can get it in this kind of size, which is another thing you need. So genuine turpentine. This is refined linseed oil, which you also are going to need. And this one is pretty much a game changer, and this is liquid. And this is to speed the drying. So this one is like the thinner. The turpentine is the thinner. The linseed oil returns a little bit of the oil to the paint because when you start thinning it, you lose that sort of oiliness to it. So you want to maintain some of the quality of the paint with that. And then the liquid is what you add to speed the drying time. Because otherwise you could be waiting weeks for things to dry. And sometimes that's appropriate, which is why you mix your own medium to get what you want for your painting. For me, I give myself like a batch. I make up a batch of my medium, which is 1 part liquid, half a part oil, and about 2 parts turpentine. We've got that the wrong way around, but listen to what I've said rather than what I've shown you. So yeah, and then I make it up in a pot so that I've got a sealed pot. I use these so that I can get the lid off, hopefully, she said, because they do tend to stick. It gets very sticky. And then that is what I use as my medium to mix my paint. Like I say, it entirely depends what you want, and the only way of working it out is by experimentation. You might want a thinner medium, you might want a thicker medium, you might want to prolong your drying time, in which case you wouldn't put any liquid in. You might want to speed your drying time up even more, in which case you would add more liquid. But just don't forget about the oil, because it's a real tricky sort of mix, because you don't want to get it so that it loses all its qualities. Liquid will give it a bit of a shine. That's another thing to be wary of, because you don't want to end up with different qualities on the same surface. You might end up, if you're not careful, with like a dull green and then a really shiny red, which won't look great across the whole canvas. So it is a little bit of experimentation, but the more liquid, the quicker it dries, the more oil, the slower it dries. So yeah, you have to get a bit of a mix, and that's what I go with. Okay. In terms of actually painting, very similar to acrylic painting for the basic sort of painting needs. You can do glazes with oils, which is a whole different ball game. And rather than me spend a load of time talking to you about glazes, what I'll do is I'll send you a link to a video on YouTube where you can see somebody else doing glazing techniques. But glazing is great and will give you almost like a kind of stained glass sort of approach where you layer up and layer up and layer up one on top of the other to give you a real depth of colour. Okay, so going right back to when I was at university, my basic colour set that they told us to get, which I've stuck with throughout my whole life, is alizarin crimson, viridian green, ultramarine blue, cadmium orange, dioxide purple, and cadmium yellow. Now you will have spotted, hopefully, that they are complementaries on the colour wheel. So we've got red and green, blue and orange, and purple and yellow. Now you can pretty much get the whole spectrum with these colours. You won't get really, really vibrant fluorescent colours that you can get nowadays, but you will get a really good range of colours, and certainly from and titanium white. From a starting point, that's all you need. So I was going to picked a white that's gunked up. Excuse me a moment. So I'm going to put my white in the middle. The difference with the whole kind of drying time means that your palette will last an awful lot longer than with acrylics. It will dry with acrylics, whereas with oils, it will last. And then I'm going to put my opposites on opposite sides of my palette. So I've got blue and orange. Purple, so that's the dioxide, purple, and cadmium yellow. So you'll see, I've got that's a new tub and it's got oil that's leaked out of it. So a kind of pro tip, when you get a new tube of oil, what you should do, which I didn't do, is you should squeeze it backwards and forwards, make sure the lid's on properly, and then give it a really good squeeze backwards and forwards. And that just helps to reintroduce the pigment to the oil, which is sometimes separated in the tubes. So giving it a good old squidge before you put it on, because otherwise you're going to end up with too oilier mix to start with. And if you add the oil, that's great, but you don't want it if you don't want it. So I'm just going to get rid of that off the palette because I don't want it on there. Hopefully that will have helped. Still going to be a little bit loose. I'll work around that. Purple and yellow. And then what have I got? I've got red and green. So that's the alizarin crimson and the viridian green. Now, when I use acrylics, I try wherever possible to use Winsor & Newton professional range. And the reason for that is simply because they're closest in colour to the oil paints that I'm used to. So colours change hugely from company to company, and it's no sort of indictment on the quality. There's so Sennelier paints are like one of the best quality paints you can get. Old Holland, brilliant quality paints, but they will be different in terms of their colour, and it's just a case of what you're used to. So for me, the Winsor & Newton professional range acrylics are closest to, well, I often use Winsor & Newton professional oils as well, but they're closest to the oil range that I use. Okay, so in terms of consistency, it's I use a similar consistency of paint that I would use for painting in acrylics. That is, I would get like a kind of single cream kind of consistency, so it's nice and smooth. And I would get that by using my medium on my palette with a brush. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to put in some of the grapes on my painting, excuse me, using a kind of really dark kind of black that I'm going to create from my alizarin crimson and my viridian green. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pour a little drop of that medium into the middle next to my white on my palette. So I've just got that little blob on there, and then that means that I can get a little bit of the alizarin crimson, bring it into the middle, a little bit of the viridian green, kind of, I've got equal quantities there pretty much. And that's too red at the moment. So I always use a glass palette so that I can see when I scrape the paint away, you can see whether it's on the red side or the green side. So what I'm going to do is just add more green. I want it to be kind of fairly middle of the range, so it actually looks kind of grey when I scrape. You can see that's still on the green, on the red side. It's still looking the kind of purpley colour. So add a bit more. And at the moment that is a bit too thick, that paint. So I'm just going to scoop in. And you'll find that it feels different to acrylic. It's smoother and silkier. Now, I don't want too much of that in there, or it's going to start being a glaze. It'll start being too translucent. So I just want it to be a nice sort of workable consistency. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over these black grapes on my painting. So I have got here a painting that I've started in acrylic and that I'm now going to continue in oil. And for anybody that's asking, how can you mix acrylics and oils? You can put oil on top of acrylic, but you cannot put acrylic on top of oil. If you think about it, when you have a primed canvas ready to go, it will be an acrylic primer that has been used, and then you can put oil on top of that. So it's exactly the same, but I've done this almost like an acrylic underpainting, if you like, beforehand. So it's absolutely fine to put the oil on top of the acrylic. And then from here on in, it is just literally a question of experimenting. You will find that I find, I should say, that it is much smoother to apply than acrylic. Acrylic tends to drag really quickly, whereas the oil just sort of sits on much easier. The disadvantage is that it makes it is wetter, which makes it harder to correct mistakes. So if you get it wrong with acrylic, it's all right. You can wait a couple of minutes and then just go back over it. With oil, it's not that easy. But if I just put those grapes in there, and then what I did with this painting with the acrylic is I used two brushes at the same time. And because it's oil, I've got this very nifty brush holder, which I will show you there, look. And because I know that my paint's not going to dry anytime soon, I can just pop that. Into the brush holder, safe in the knowledge that that paintbrush is not going to dry anytime soon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the light tones of the grapes, and I'm going to do that by adding, first off, just to the very edge, some white to this paint. But then I'm going to add a touch more green because it's got like a kind of, on the painting, it's got like a turquoisey effect. That's a bit too much. So just bring a little bit more of that other colour in so that it's, now that's gone purple again. You also have to be a little bit careful about colour mixing, which is a whole new thing again, but what can look purple on the palette can then look very green when you put it on the canvas. Right, so now what you'll find is when you put this onto your grapes, it will blend, and before you know it, it will take up the paint from underneath. So you need to be constantly reloading your brush, because as soon as you put it on, because that paint is still wet and will stay wet for quite some time, even if you use liquid, it'll still be much slower than acrylic would be. You need to be a little bit more careful about reloading your brush. Where it is very good to use oil as opposed to acrylic is if you want like a really fine blend. So if I show you, I'm just going to clean that brush out with my terps, and then I'm going to dry that brush. And if I show you it's the blending of the green of the leaf, for example. So let's get a bit of a get a little bit of my medium in there. Get a nice soft. Right, so if I wanted this leaf here to be a really blended leaf, which I don't actually, but I'll show you anyway for the purposes of demonstration. So you can put your colour on there, and then you can actually get a darker, so I'm just using this dark black colour that I've used just for an example. Put that around there. Get some sort of colour in between the two. And what you'll find is you'll be able to blend it into like a perfect smooth edge much easier than if you could with acrylic, because it won't dry. So you can go kind of, you know, bring the light, as soon as you touch that paint, you're picking it up on your brush. Excuse me. So the light comes back into the dark. You just have to be careful there because that's got the light on the brush. And then your dark goes back on the brush there. And you'll get a much smoother finish. That doesn't mean to say that that's all it will do. So I've got a little bit of an overspill there. So one of the other tricks that you can use is I've got this tool, which you can use. So it's this tool, this little plastic ended thing. You can use on acrylic as well. And you can just literally use that to scrape back off your canvas. So where I've gone over the lines, if you like, just literally rub that up and down, and it will take it off. So the only other thing, like I say, is about using glazes. It would take me hours and hours and hours to go through that, and I just wanted to show you basically the basic difference between oils and acrylics, and that is that. So there you have it. You could continue with this painting in oils over the top, and it would work in different ways. Like I say, it will keep wet for much longer, which has an advantage, but it also means it's a bit trickier to correct mistakes. So it's entirely up to you. It's a personal choice as to whether to use acrylics or oils. In this day and age, acrylics are so more advanced than they ever used to be. I reckon that Caravaggio would probably be saying, do you know what, I'll have a go with the acrylics. Why not? Thanks ever so much for watching.